Question 11.18. Questioner, then we have crusaders from Orion coming to this planet for mind control purposes. How do they do this? Answer, I am Ra. As all, they follow the law of one observing free will. Contact is made with those who call. Those then upon the planetary sphere act much as do you to disseminate the attitudes and philosophy of their particular understanding of the law of one, which is service to self. These become the elite. Through these, the attempt begins to create a condition whereby the remainder of the planetary entities are enslaved by their free will. Question 11.19. Questioner, can you name any names that may be known on the planet that are recipients of the Crusaders' efforts? Answer, I am Ra. I am desirous of being in non-violation of the free will distortion. To name those involved in the future of your space-time is to infringe, thus, we withhold this information. We request your contemplation of the fruits of the actions of those entities whom you may observe enjoying the distortion towards power. In this way you may discern for yourself this information. We shall not interfere with the, shall we say, planetary game. It is not central to the harvest. Question 11.20. Questioner, how do the Crusaders pass on their concepts to the individuals on Earth? Answer, I am Ra. There are two main ways, just as there are two main ways of, shall we say, polarizing towards service to others. There are those mind, body, spirit complexes upon your plane who do exercises and perform disciplines in order to seek contact with sources of information and power leading to the opening of the gate to intelligent infinity. There are others whose vibratory complex is such that this gateway is opened and contact with total service to self with its primal distortion of manipulation of others is then afforded with little or no difficulty, no training, and no control. Question 11.21. Questioner, what type of information is passed on from the Crusaders to these people? Answer, I am Ra. The Orion group passes on information concerning the law of one with the orientation of service to self. The information can become technical just as some in the Confederation, in attempts to aid this planet in service to others, have provided what you would call technical information. The technology provided by this group is in the form of various means of control or manipulation of others to serve the self. Question 11.22. Questioner, do you mean to say then that some scientists receive technical information, shall we say, telepathically that comes out then as usable gadgetry? Answer, I am Ra. That is correct. However, very positively, as you would call this distortion, oriented scientists have received information intended to unlock peaceful means of progress which redounded unto the last echoes of potential destruction due to further reception of other scientists of a negative orientation distortion. Question 11.23. Questioner, is this how we learned of nuclear energy? Was it mixed with both positive and negative orientation? Answer, I am Ra. That is correct. The entities responsible for the gathering of the scientists were of a mixed orientation. The scientists were overwhelmingly positive in their orientation. The scientists who followed their work were of mixed orientation, including one extremely negative entity, as you would term it. Question 11.24. Questioner, is this extremely negative entity still incarnate on Earth? Answer, I am Ra. This is correct. Question 11.25. Questioner, then I would assume that you can't name him. So I would ask you where Nikola Tesla got his information? Answer, I am Ra. The one known as Nikola received information from Confederation sources desirous of aiding this extremely, shall we say, angelically positive entity in bettering the existence of its fellow mind, body, spirit complexes. It is unfortunate, shall we say, that like many wanderers the vibratory distortions of third density illusion caused this entity to become extremely distorted in its perceptions of its fellow mind, body, spirit complexes so that its mission was hindered and in the result perverted from its purposes. Question 11.26. Questioner, how was Tesla's work supposed to benefit man on Earth, and what were its purposes? Answer, I am Ra. The most desired purpose of the mind, body, spirit complex, Nikola, was the freeing of all planetary entities from their darkness. Thus, it attempted to give to the planet the infinite energy of the planetary sphere for use in lighting and power. Question 11.27. Questioner, by freeing the planetary entities from darkness, precisely what do you mean? Answer, I am Ra. Most of the following answer was lost due to tape recorder malfunction. The core of the response was as follows. We spoke of freeing people from darkness in a literal sense. Question 11.28. Questioner, would this freeing from darkness be commensurate with the law of one, or does this have any real product? Answer, I am Ra. The product of such a freeing would create two experiences. Firstly, the experience of no need to find the necessary emolument for payment into your money, for energy. Secondly, the leisure afforded, thereby exemplifying the possibility and enhancing the probability of the freedom to then search the self, the beginning of seeking the law of one. Few there are working physically from debris to darkness, as you name them, upon your plane who can contemplate the law of one in a conscious fashion. Question 11.29. Questioner, what about the Industrial Revolution in general? Was this planned in any way? Answer, I am Ra. This will be the final question of this session. That is correct. Wanderers incarnated in several waves, as you may call them, in order to bring into existence the gradual freeing from the demands of the diurnal cycles and lack of freedom of leisure. Question 11.30. Questioner, that was the last question, so I will do as usual and ask if there is anything that we can do to make the instrument more comfortable. Answer, I am Ra. You are doing well. The most important thing is to carefully align the symbols. The adjustment made this particular time-space present will aid this instrument's physical complex in the distortion towards comfort. May we ask if you have any short questions which we may resolve before closing the session? Question 11.31. Questioner, I don't know if this is a short question or not, so we can save it till next time, but my question is, why do the Crusaders from Orion do this? What is their ultimate objective? This is probably too long to answer. Answer, I am Ra. This is not too long to answer. To serve the self is to serve all. The service of the self, when seen in this perspective, requires an ever-expanding use of the energies of others for manipulation to the benefit of the self with distortion towards power. If there are further queries to further explicate this subject, we shall be with you again. Question 11.32. Questioner, there was one thing that I forgot. Is it possible to have another session later on today? Answer, I am Ra. It is well. Question 11.33. Questioner, thank you. Answer, I am Ra. I leave you in the love and the light of the one infinite Creator. Go forth, then, rejoicing in the power and the peace of the one Creator. Adonai.